Hey guys, welcome back. DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for Poppy. I'm your host, Drip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all Forex Shark related projects. And in today's video, the question of the year since at least mid-January until now is, what about drip? If drip goes lower, what happens? Will drip rebound? Will drip survive? Drip, 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 drip. And we're going to break it down in this video and kind of review some other videos that I put out and see where we're at in regards to that and what does the future of drip actually look like. Well, obviously, we don't have a crystal ball, but should you be questioning your investment at this stage? Should you be running for the hills or should you be doubling down? Not financial advice, of course. But first, a little analogy to help you make sense of it all. So I'm going to assume everyone watching this has probably a cell phone, a smartphone or some device, right? If not, at least a computer. But the bulk of the world, definitely, even out here in Cambodia, they have smartphones. And Huawei and Oppo are very cheap, like $50 for decent phones. But the top two competitors in the phone space is definitely Google and Apple. And you can see that in this chart here. Don't worry, I'm going to tie this together. You'll understand where I'm coming from. But they have dominated the market share year over year, especially Apple right now. Now, the question I want to ask you, and this is how it relates to drip, is right now, the average price of the newer iPhone is about $1,000, depending on which model you get. But we'll just say the $1,000 that they show here, because it's like the base model. And then the Google Pro, again, same price. So let's just assume that for this phone that you wanted, the 7 Pro, the price is $1,000. That's the average price, right? Now, if you went into the store and you saw that price tomorrow at $2,000, $3,000, would you buy the phone then, or would you wait? I think the answer clearly is that you would wait, because you'd be like, wait a minute, this phone I know is average price is $1,000. Why did it go up? Why is it, all of a sudden more expensive? Maybe something happened with the supply or whatever the case may be. Now, on the contrary, if the phone was $599, $499, would you buy it then? Of course you would, because again, the value of that phone, right? The point I'm getting at is that you have to make that exact same distinction or determination for drip. If you believe in drip, then you believe that right now it's undervalued. You don't wait until it gets back to $179, $199 to then buy in. That's too little too late. That's what we've seen it at before, but these are great opportunities. Again, if you believe in the fundamentals, and if you've been following my channel, then you see kind of the history and what I've been forecasting not forecasting so much, but showing you what potentially drip could do and the sound development that Forex has put together regarding the animal farm, and that I believe he can do the same thing, if not more, for drip. So let's first review a couple of some old videos or some information so that we can tie all this together. Now, this was my "If It Dies, Can It Rise Again" Phoenix from the Ashes video I did on drip back on November 9th. And in this video, I showed what it would take for drip to basically regain a price that we all would be happy with. And I was referencing it to kind of the personality of Forex and that he won't let it die and this, that, and the other. And that's when we were sitting at $2.90. And that was a beautiful time in drip because we have come down another 3x from there, and it's not looking so pretty. But I brought this up because along with this video and this other one where I was forecasting the kind of trend of drip, this one was forecasting could drip go to 10 cents. Again, I still don't believe that, but this just forecasted like if all things stayed the same, where we'd be. And since then, we've now dropped to a BNB price of like 230, 240. And the circulating supply is about what I said it would be. So in this video, I put out now almost a month ago, 3 weeks ago, I said the circulating supply would be 933,000 on the 20th of December. Here we are on 20 December. And let's take a look at the circulating supply. We are sitting at literally 933,000. Now talk about a damn near on the nose forecast, 933, 275. And here we are sitting at 933 128. That's pretty impressive, I must say. Not to say that I get everything right, but again, we're just looking at numbers. That's why I always find it funny that the fudders and haters don't like to look at the numbers. They think that I'm fudding drip. We're actually now 935, so we're ahead of schedule from what I forecasted. But the point I'm getting at is that in here, the drip price was supposed to be 92 cents with a BNB price of 273. Well, we know that right now BNB is sitting at like 235, 240, I think. Let me see, where are we at? BNB is 247, and that means our drip price on the native DEX is sitting at 87 cents. So we lost 5 cents on that price from the forecast I made just under a month ago, and that's because drip or BNB dropped, right? So that factors into the equation. We don't know what BNB is going to do, but right now we can see a kind of choreographed campaign coming from the FTX collapse, and now Binance literally being in the news for are they solvent or not, when the news should be pointing to the 8 counts of fraud and conspiracy that Sam Bankman-Fried has. But for some reason, all the lights are shined on Binance. So anyway, the reason that I bring this up is because we can now take a look at the numbers again and kind of forecast from here. So, you know, it's been about 3 to 4 weeks, and it's like, well, let's see where we can go and where is the hopium in all of this, because 933,000 is a crazy supply that nobody wants to see, but there's got to be a silver lining in this, or else I wouldn't do a video on this, right? So let's take a look. Just a quick message, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. This helps bring brand awareness to the channel, as well as all Forex Shark related projects. Thank you. All right, so we can go back and look at some historical data. I picked these dates because they were significant in the kind of layout, or not layout, but release of the Animal Farm and stuff like that with drip. So 10/18 is when drip was when the Animal Farm was supposed to be unpaused, and we're sitting at $5.74 at a BNB price 275, and the circulating supply was only 357,000. So that's a BUSD price, sorry. The BNB price was $6. So these were, again, happy times in drip. 11/1 is when the farm was actually launched, and we were still just above $5, so it wasn't that bad. But you can see the circulating supply had increased another 100,000, but the BNB price had jumped 50 bucks. So again, this is important because remember, the BNB price and circulating supply is what actually determines our drip price on the native DEX, and then the arbitrage opportunity with the BUSD is what actually solidifies this 12% difference. Right, and then the 11/9 is the Phoenix video that I did, so that's why I put that one here. So we were at 293, and we had gone up 150,000 in the drip supply, but the BNB had dropped back down to about what it was there. And then 1 month after the farm had been launched, we were down to $1.63, $1.53, and had basically doubled the supply from the original forecasted date of when the farm was supposed to launch. But somehow we were down, even though we'd only doubled the supply, we were down more than 2x. So again, this is important, and I'm going to explain to you, why. And then here we are here at 87 cents. That's when I was recording this video. And again, if we look at 1 month, like November 1st, when the farm launched, that was 451,000 in circulating supply. And now we have just over twice as much, but yet we're down almost 5x. From that price range. So that's important to note, because this ties into the way that the sword and shield protocol works, and ties into how much liquidity or capital injection it will take for this price to rebound to a level that I guess would be a little more optimistic and bullish. So we're going to look at what reducing the supply with the 9 November data would have done, and then we'll look at what reducing the supply does now, and you'll see how the BNB sword port of the protocol kind of gives us exponential downside volatility when a BNB is going down, which we're in a bear market, so that's to be expected. But it also kind of hinders us because of the BUSD side when we're trying to go back up. So when we look at these numbers here, we can see from November 9th, the data that we had from November 9th, if we were still there, to get to a $5 price range would cost us about $395,000 at the November 9th supply range and the amount of drip that we would need to purchase. So we would have to purchase about 135,000 drip from these levels here. That would give us a BNB supply of this number, and that would be just over $5, and that costs about 400 grand to get to a 2x from this price. So this price here, a 2x in price, it would have cost about $500,000, and then some other numbers just to play with. So if we want a $10 price, drip price, it'd be 800,000, 25 would be 1.1 million, and 50 would be 1.3 million. So not bad. That's not that difficult to achieve, but you can see down here we would have 400. We'd have only 50,000 in supply, and previously when we had 50,000 in supply, we had a much higher drip price due to the actual BNB price historically. So now when we look at this from the current prices, so remember these numbers, or you don't have to remember, but you can look at these numbers here, and we're going to show what a 2x in price would be, and then what it would take to get to $5, and then of course some of the other numbers as well. So now based off of today's values, that's a double cost, we can see that to get to a 3x, so from 88 cents to 253, it's only $400,000. So that same 400,000 before got us just under a 2x in price, but now that same 400,000 can get us a 3x in price, and $575,000 will get us basically a 5x in our drip price. Now that's insane because again, due to the price of BNB and the current price of drip. So it takes a lot less money to move drip at these stages. Now, again, of course, you guys know that this isn't sustainable if you inject all this at once. This can get eaten up due to the liquidity sitting in the wallets. However, those wallets haven't been selling. So we look over at Dune Analytics. We've been sitting between this 1.5 and 1.6 million drip in wallet range. So the bulk of these people holding drip are the OGs and whales, or people that just have like completely forgot. Maybe people that have drip in wallets and just haven't even checked in a while. But this number's been holding about this level for 3-4 months. It's crazy. So part of me can speculate and say that even if we were to pump, there's not going to be a lot of people selling because they didn't sell at $5 before. They didn't sell at $10 before. So it's reasonable to think that they won't. We would still have the daily sell pressure, but that's not nearly as impactful as if like that 1.6 million dropped. So anyway, back to the numbers. So if we wanted to see a $5 drip floor, that would only take about $575,000. Yeah, I know I say only, but I'm going to give you again the hopium of where we could be at to get these numbers. And to get to $10, so a 10x from this price, almost about 11x, is $688,000, and $50 drip price is literally $800,000. Now, of course, none of us have that kind of money to just inject ourselves. But remember, I showed on this channel, I think the day before this, the PIGGY injections that we could have, right? Now, we don't know how much of this is going to be added, but these are the PIGGY injections based on, again, a forecast of drip being, of dogs being sold, and based on different days of those. So again, like, we have a decent average range of about $1 million in a month, just coming from the dog sales. That's not the rehypothecated stable coin or the new stable farm on PancakeSwap for the rehypothecated LPs. So let's just safely assume about $1.5 million per month that could be injected into the pig pen. And of that $1.5 million, again, we don't know how much we can allocate towards drip. I don't think that's gone up for a vote. And this is all speculation and hearsay because Ray mentioned this, and then Forex mentioned he could do this as well. But we don't have any concrete values, but I'm quite sure the community would support this. So let's just look at the like 1.5 million. That could be 150,000 per month going to drip. You divide that by 4. Why? Because right now we are looking at weekly pig pen injections. So for simple math, we're going to say 1.6 million, and that would be 400,000 per week. And of that could be up to $40,000 per week being injected into drip. And that would be on a monthly reoccurring basis. So the reason, again, I bring that up is because $40,000 weekly can start to remove some of this circulating supply and get it back into the tax vault. And again, at these prices, it gets harder and harder for the sales to do more damage due to the what would you call it? The price of drip. So like our daily volume you see here is $48,000. And yes, that's primarily sell volume, but we could literally have some level of stability being added when you're getting $40,000 injected per week. That doesn't offset this by any means, but you see we're moving into the right direction. And again, the longer the farm runs, the more potential for the weekly injections from the dog sales, and the more liquidity being added to the farm, and then the more transactions happening on the pig pen. So this just can grow. So 40,000 could be the low end per week that we could see. So we'll just say 100,000 to 200,000 per month coming into drip. Now that again doesn't account for the current amount that we're seeing, but this is including buy and sells, primarily sells. But you can see how slowly but surely it can start to have a positive effect on the drip ecosystem. And additionally, remember, I believe personally that after the attention comes back to drip, we are going to start seeing some of this capital come back into drip from the farms. So right now, people have taken from the garden and from their drip position to get in here, or even sell it and buy, stable coin pairs or whatever. Well, what do you think is going to happen after they're getting a bunch of dogs from here and they've got their taxes reduced, like I showed in this picture here? So by the end of February, everyone should be having a weekly amount of dog injections. Actually it's daily. It's gonna be every day, that has at least a 90% maturity rate, and those will be able to be sold. Well, if you don't need the profits or the tensions back on drip, definitely by that time, in my opinion, or definitely by that time Scratchy is launched, then that means people are playing with house money, right? The dogs that they have, they could easily turn around and sell because they have a 90% tax. They've generated all of that income by staking their assets. They have this free money with dogs, and they can take that, turn it into BNB or BUSD, even stake a little bit of it in the farm and pools. So it's adding back to the capital here. So you're not losing anything. So you got one dog, say it's sold for $40, and you decide to keep 20 in the BUSD farm just for our pool, just for simple math. The other 20, you're like, yo, I'll just go buy a scratch ticket. That could literally happen every day. If someone was generating one dog a day in their farms, which a lot of people are, I get about a dog a week. Still, that's a lot of money that could potentially, I feel like, will flow back into drip, because drip is the more degen gambler play in the ecosystem. Well, once you have a stable position in the farm, why wouldn't you go gamble and try to get exponentially more money? You got your printer sitting here that is generating the yield you need, and will still be in a bear market come the end of February. So it would make sense that people would definitely be taking profits from their staking capital. But once you have that position secured, then the extra is whatever you decide is your gambler's fund, or your, like Gareth Soloway says, whatever percentage of your portfolio that you want to put into risk assets. So if you're really going to do it like a traditional financial market vehicle would do, you would find a percentage of your portfolio you're willing to risk after you've built a stable position. And as Forex said, you should be able to live off of 2 to 3% of your dividends. So if you are able to live off 2 to 3% of the dividends, and you're willing to gamble a total of 5%, then that means you have 2% available. After the 3% you're living off of, there's 2% additional that you're like, yo, I'm going to do something with that. And that could be, like I said, going into Scratchy, buying back into drip. So that's the hopium that I think we're going to see in the long term. It's just a matter of how long it takes to get there. And I don't know how long that will be, but I do believe it is coming back at some stage. Now, that being said, you know, we got to go through some volatility and some more pain to get there. There's on this website, really cool. Pull this up real quick. On the home page, they show you kind of what the market sentiment is, not just the fear and greed index, but we're not quite all the way fearful anymore. And you can see that people are still kind of shorting Bitcoin. And there was some information released earlier that BlackRock might be shorting the entire market. So if a lot of people still have shorts in, then we could definitely go lower. Now, the flip side to that, markets like to take the path of most pain. What could happen is if these shorts get pushed, you know, far enough, 70-80%, the most pain would be that the market rebounds just to liquidate those shorts. Now, that, again, nobody knows which direction it's going to go, but just something to think about. So anyway, I just wanted to share that even with drip going lower, it's not the end of the world. The way that the farm is designated, it will flow back into drip. It just will take some time. And when it starts coming back, no matter what price point we're at, it's going to be that much easier to have drip do multiple X's and people be back in profit. So anyone that I feel has gotten into drip since we kind of got below the 290 range, man, those people I feel like are probably sitting real pretty, because you'll be able to much quicker and easier get back into profits whenever the attention comes back to drip. So probably since what about middle of November, yeah, just below 250. So we'll probably still go lower, and we could even see that 50 cents. But again, even if it goes 50 cents, it's easier to buy back that drip and have drip refeed the tax vault and stop the bleeding of the minting and give us a longer runway once those injections start coming in. So we'll see where that's at. We still got some time left on the votes, but I thought that this was interesting and thought you guys might enjoy it as well. If you did, you know the drill. Smash that feel special, like and subscribe, comment down below, help brother out. And until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See you.